are listening to I Am Refocused Radio with your host, Shemaiah Reed. This show is designed to inspire you to live your purpose and regain your focus. And now, here's your host, Shemaiah Reed.
Welcome back to I Am Refocused Radio. Once again, we are here today, and we have another amazing guest. We have a powerhouse guest. We have a celebrity in the house. I mean, this guy has done amazing things. You probably see him on Shark Tank. Just go out right off the bat. But we have the one and only Dr. Robert Yonover. He is someone that you need to know. He's done amazing work. He has amazing brand. He has amazing resume. It probably take me 30 days and 30 nights just to get through the details, what he's done. But just cutting to the chase, he is someone that is a scientist, a big wave surfer, an inventor, and founder of an important company, Sea Rescue Streamer. And this is something that you need to learn more about, because if you have been underneath the rock like me, you had to read up on it and see how important this thing is. It's some life-saving technology that he's done. His patented Sea Rescue Streamer is a military-approved and day and night emergency signaling device used by the U.S. military, Coast Guard, and even protecting SpaceX astronauts. He doesn't really sleep. I don't know how he had time to be on the show today, but I'm so grateful that we have him on the show, making a little history with him. First, I want to say thanks to you, Dr. Robert, for being on today. How you doing?
Thank you, man. My pleasure. Thanks for the intro. It's great to be here.
Yes, sir. I had to slam on the brakes because I'm like, man, it's going to be 25 minutes by the time I get through the details of what you've been doing. So just kind of paint the picture for the audience about your brand and how you got it going.
Well, I'm a scientist, inventor, big wave surfer. I was always on the edge of dying, and I invented this signaling device because here in Hawaii, when you get up in the air looking for people in the water, you can't see them. They have smoke signals, flare, sea dye, it all goes away. But I came up with a very simple design, which is a long orange tail with little white spreader bars, so it's like a centipede. It won't twist up. And I've been doing this longer than you've been alive. I thought of this 40 years ago, and I've been working hard trying to get people to accept it and accept me. It's like, and at the time, I was a young punk kid from Hawaii, a surfer, volcanologist, trying to tell the military how to do their job. And it wasn't welcome with open arms. But eventually, they gave it a shot. And the truth is, when you put sea dye, smoke, or any signals, flares, they go away right away. This streamer, once it's deployed, it stays out. You can go to sleep in your raft or in the water. It's signaling for you. And furthermore, if the enemy comes around, you can put it away and then redeploy it. You can't redeploy smoke or flares. So it's been a crazy, crazy journey. And, you know, I'm relentless. I'm a polite pain in the ass. And I'm just going to keep working it till I get it going. And I also have a crazy backstory because my wife got sick with MS and she became paralyzed right in the middle of this. So for 19 years, I took care of a paralyzed wife with 2 little kids. And that was quite a journey. So you're right. I didn't sleep. I'm waiting to die. Then I'm going to catch up on some sleep. So it's been a crazy ride, and it's saved some lives already, the streamer, and it's really gratifying. And even getting on Shark Tank was really cool. And even though they all liked it, they didn't invest, but they all saw the value of it. And that was like the greatest thing you could do on national TV. And they replay it. It's been on 100 times on CNBC, and people say, you know, how come you look so old now? And I'm like, well, I was in the hair and makeup trailer, and that was 8 years ago. So, you know, it happens to all of us, I guess.
Not anybody or everybody can even make it on the show. So you got to get the inside scoop. What was your experience like being?
Oh, well, first of all, they say it's harder to get in than Harvard. Oh, they get 40,000 applicants to get 20 spots or something huge. And I stood in line in Hawaii. I didn't know anyone in a parking lot for, you know, there was 400 people in the line, and I just pitched it. And I knew I was good at pitching. I had the credentials, and I was older, but I already had some sales with the military. And it was just a crazy experience. The whole thing, months and months of prep, finally get in there. And, you know, it's real. You know, it's just like there's no prep. I prepped, but they didn't know who I was. So I go in there, and I'm looking at Mark Cuban and Mr. Wonderful and Lori and all these people, and they're sizing me up. And it was pretty nerve-wracking of, you know, millions of people watching. And it was me against those 5, and they're trying to sound smart. And one thing I tried to do was make Mr. Wonderful, get him a little embarrassed by making him unfurl the streamer. He always gives people hell for doing, whatever's wrong with their company. So I knew he was short, and I knew I could look down on him. I thought that would be a good thing on national TV. And they made a joke about him getting lost. But it was cool. Mark Cuban got carried away with, you only see 7 minutes, but I was in there for an hour. And he got carried away with my volcanology Ph.D. work. And I think he's bored out of his mind, and he just kept talking to me about that. And finally, Mr. Wonderful said, let's talk about the streamer, because I could talk to this guy all day. So it was a great experience, and it was a risk. You're risking it all going on that show, because like Mr. Wonderful has done to many people, they'll make you look bad. And like I said, it's been on 100 times. If I looked bad, they would have played it 100 times of me looking bad over the last 7 years. So it worked out, and the beauty is I didn't get a deal, but they all liked it on national TV, and they said it's going to save lives, so it was better, because without a deal, I don't have their 30-year-old aide telling me that I should move from Hawaii or I should go to this show or do that. This way, I got all the endorsement and PR without the hassle of a partner that doesn't know anything about it. But they won't let you do that if they won't let you get on if they know it's just for PR. So I genuinely wanted to make a deal, and I put a low valuation to make a deal. I thought there'd be a bidding war. I was genuinely shocked, because after telling them that it saved lives, and how if we work together and get it mandated, possibly put on every life raft, life jacket, maybe we could save thousands of lives, and how it felt better than anything when a guy came up to me and thanked me for saving his life. One guy was a military guy, a couple in the military, and a couple in free divers here in Hawaii. That felt better than anything. And I think I got that across to them, but they were like heartless. They didn't give it the hell about that. They just wanted money. And that was shocking to me. It's still shocking to me. I have some really wealthy friends, and I don't know, money's like an addiction. I don't understand it. How much is enough? How much of your kids' need to have millions of dollars, before you can breathe. It's really, I guess it's competitive, that they just want to outmake each other or whatever it is. I still don't understand that. If someone could explain that to me, I would like to hear it.
It's probably a good thing. I mean, life happens, and life has its way of redirecting us at times, and it's probably better that you get redirected into working successfully with the military. So talking about your experience with the U.S. Air Force, Navy, Coast Guard, and even SpaceX, being able to help them out.
Well, the key to my success has been working with the media for 40 years. Basically, I thought of this in the 80s, and I kept, in the old days, I don't know if you know what a fax machine is, but we used to use fax machines, and I'd send out 100 faxes to media people to try to get publicity for it. But I'd also send 100 out to military people. There was a World Aviation Directory. So I finally got a nibble. A Coast Guard guy who worked for a senator saw this. He goes, yeah, this looks interesting. Let's give it a shot. So finally, a neutral guy that didn't say, you're too young, you're not military, even though my father was Battle of the Bulge, that has nothing to do with it. And he said, let's give it a shot. And when they tested it, sure enough, flare, smoke, and die all went away. This thing lasted. They said, this is pretty good. And then went through a whole years of testing, and even Brooks Air Force Base, we did some testing there. They wanted a fighter pilot version that auto-deployed, and I used rice paper candy that dissolves in your mouth. We use that as a string to attach to a pouch, so when the ejected pilot hits the water, the pouch opens automatically and the streamer goes out automatically, and then they loved it. And in fact, it was really an amazing journey. And then you just build, the Navy approved it first. They called it the only passive and continuous signaling device. And then I would take that and spread that word to everyone else and keep doing that till I got all branches to approve it. They didn't mandate it though, so it's still only approved. So it's an optional item. But I'm also part of the SAFE Association, this group that has all these international military survival experts from all over the world, and we get together and we look at, what people have. And SpaceX, those guys came around, and now that I'm older, to me, everyone's like a young punk. They're this little, young And I never know who's serious or not. Yeah, we're from SpaceX. This thing looks cool. And that was it. I never heard more. Then 2 weeks before the launch of the first manned flight, they said, hey, you got a safety spec sheet on this? Because we're going to, I go, what do you need that for? And I go, it's just plastic. So I sent it to them. They go, yeah, it's going up in 2 weeks, under the seat of all the astronauts in case the splashdown may lose someone. Well, I'm like, oh, that's unbelievable. So in all my journeys, my Ph.D. work was on a volcano 2 miles deep in Galapagos. And I got to go down in the Alvin submersible, the one that found the Titanic. And my dream, then I got a grant at NASA to work on those lavas. And my dream was to be the first human in deep space and outer space. But then the shuttle blew up and they stopped taking scientists. But I did, because the streamer went up in space with SpaceX, I did get my DNA up there. So that kind of counts. So
that's pretty cool.
It's vicarious. Yeah.
You can't really make that story up. I mean,
no, exactly.
When you reflect on what you've been able to still accomplish, and you're still appearing on different shows and major influencers, right, pushing your story.
Sure.
Have you ever said, wow, like this is actually doing more than what I expected? Or you're just like, I had a gut feeling this will be important enough for people to wake up?
Right. Well, I think this invention, I'm a serial inventor. I've got 1 million inventions, and most of them are laughable. But 20% are nuggets, and 2% are absolute nuggets like this one. I knew this was the right solution. I'm a big wave surfer. I fish in rough water. I hike on volcanoes. So it's easy to get lost and get in trouble and get injured. So you have to be able to signal. I knew it was the right one, but I just kept persevering, and I'm piling on now because I don't know what it is. I got a bit of a chip on my shoulder, In high school, I wasn't like the hero. I was a short kid. I didn't bloom till college. And even the military, just the way they didn't really welcome me. I just want to keep achieving with this and my other inventions and books and everything I can, just to keep doing it because it's gratifying. And my other thing is I want to encourage young inventors and entrepreneurs to go for it, And a guy like me, I've had all the good opportunities, but I took advantage of them, and it looks like I'm really casual, but I outwork everyone. I train harder to surf. I work harder to do research. I just keep working. And I tell a lot of entrepreneurs and inventors, don't quit your day job so you can quit your day job. You need the money flowing in so you can build something on nights and weekends in your spare time. And once that grows big enough, then you can quit your day job. So that's my message these days. And I talk to a lot of kids, and I'm really disillusioned by the whole smartphone, social media, AI, because that is all counter to what I'm about. I mean, I'm about biomimicry, meaning you look at nature. Look how nature solves a problem, then use that to solve your problems. And if you're stuck in a phone, you can't do that. So to me, you got to get outside. You got to explore things. You got to get stuck in things. You got to work. The hard way is usually the best way. And that's the other thing is all these innovations we have make it simpler and easier. But you know what? Harder is better. Simple is good and harder is good. And people don't want to hear that. They want the shortcut. And the shortcut works sometimes, but it also can backfire. And I'm trying to be, show people that you can be older in age and also keep charging. I'm not resting on my laurels. I'm just saying, okay, I'm still working. I've got a pocket desalinator invented to convert salt water to fresh water. I'm actively been working on that for 20 years. So, and I'm swinging for the fence. These are huge ideas, and they're, for me, life-saving, helping humanity. That's, to me, the best thing. I could have made a lot of money, and people were, even my late wife used to say, stop playing with that piece of plastic and get a real job. It makes a lot of money. And I'm like, I don't really care about money. I want to do something useful and important. And to me, that drives me more. It's easier because I met the guys that this saved, and I could look in their eyes, and they were thankful. That felt great. I want to do that 1,000 times till I'm dead. I want that feeling. And even if I don't get it, I want to try to get that feeling because that's what a contribution is about. And I want to contribute. I want to contribute how I can.
That's a great message right there, I have to say. And by the way, you listen to Refocused Radio, watching us online, talking to our guest today, Dr. Robert Yonover. Go to his website. It is SeaRescueStreamer.com. Again, that's SeaRescueStreamer.com. You are someone that I think give the vibes of someone who could be a great mentor. And when you look at young people today, you gave some great points on technology. And it's funny, you know, I would say this, growing up, we graduated from VHS tapes to DVDs to now Netflix. So we don't have to go to, you know, some brick and mortar and drop off this and stuff. But I like what you said. I think it's very valid. These technologies that we are spoiled with, right? I mean, we literally I can make myself look like I have an afro if I wanted to, and change the color of this jacket to red if I wanted to. Right. But to your point, there is a human touch that is still being talked about in this AI space, and that is, we can't forget that the human experience is the experience. Exactly. Because the AI is a microwave shortcut to something that is not even real.
And it's not creative. You know, I'm all about creativity, whatever field you're in. And AI is not creative. It will not give you a new idea. It'll spit out data, and it'll get you further away from being human. And I don't want to do that. I want to get stuck in things. I want to think of stupid ideas and good ideas. I want to look in people's eyes. Part of why I do these, you know, podcast type interviews is because I want to meet people. It's so hard to meet people nowadays. Everyone, you know, when the electricity goes off, people wander out up in their house. I'm like, people live there. So it's like the whole world is the day after, and it's crazy. And these tech companies know it because they get you addicted to scrolling. And you know, I scroll, I do it. It's good, but it really is an issue of who do you follow. If you follow morons, you are a moron. If you follow brilliant, interesting people, you can get something out of it. But my tenet is that you should not have Wi-Fi anywhere on a cell phone. It should only be in your house or your office. That way, when you go outside, I'm much for the return of the flip phone. You should phone, text, and take a photo. No more video. Videos are the demise to me. And
everyone's a movie director now.
Exactly. And the other thing I love to do is show kids my phone. Okay, that's my phone. It's got buttons. So if I send you a fax, I had to go A, B, B, C, C. So, and I know it's a pain in the ass for me, but it keeps me, I don't have apps when I go outside anywhere. My app, I have to be near Wi-Fi. And I think that's, to me, is a good compromise. And I know kids aren't going to do it and adults aren't going to do it because it's too good and there's too much money in it. You know, the tech guys love it. You have people just sitting at home shopping all day, buy, eat, and it just makes us fatter and lazier. I mean, I'm totally against that, and I just don't. I get it, but I don't get it. So I'm an outdoor active person, and I don't want to live vicariously through someone. And ultimately, they even tell you, they go, "How many followers? You know, you're a follower. I want to be a leader. I don't want to follow people. I want to be a leader." How can you lead if you don't go outside? How can you lead if you don't meet people? Now, when I meet a kid or any person that can look me in the eye and shake my hand and have a conversation, I'm amazed. I'm like, oh, there's hope for humanity. There's still a person that can carry on a conversation. So it's really frustrating. And the other thing about this is kind of a common rap now. I'm not the only one saying it. But I was the only one in 2007 when the iPhone 1 came out and everyone said how great it was. I said, this is 20 years ago, I said, this is horrible. And everyone thought I was saying that for a reaction. I was genuine. I didn't know all this was going to happen. Social media, all that was going to blow up. But the point is even more stark now that it's obvious now that they're bad for you. And now people are realizing it. They're going to ban them in schools. And I mean, the brain is so powerful, and we're muting it by not exploring things and not exposing it to problem solving and creativity. And that's why when I say biomimicry, nature's been here for 1 billion years, and it's solved all these problems. All these animals and plants figure out how to do things. We can observe them, and we have. The smart people do that, and kids do that. If you look at little kids, they don't, they get addicted to the phones. But before that, you get them out in nature. They're exploring, they're experimenting. That's the way to live, man. And the longer you can have that kid-like mind, the better. And that's, some people think I'm a little wacky because I really embrace that. And to me, if someone says you're immature, that's a compliment. It's like, I don't want to be. I'm mature when I need to be. I can dress up and clean up and filter myself. But I want to wonder about the world, problem solve, and even fail. The thing about being an inventor is, like I said earlier, 80% of my ideas are worthless. At the time, I thought they were good. I wrote them down, and I come back to them. And sometimes they'll help me only. They're not like a product that I can sell one day and save lives. But it's just a crazy juxtaposition. And then the way money and fame and that Shark Tank thing reminded me of that, even though it was 8 years ago. It's just, what are the values in this country or this world that this is the most important thing, is mega money quickly, too. The other thing about Shark Tank and all investors, they want you to make money quickly. And the whole thing in life, I want to play the slow game. You've heard of the tortoise and the hare, that fable. Yeah. I am the ultimate tortoise. These guys in the military, they see I'm old now. I was a kid when I came into their world, and I'm just chugging away. And I'm like, I'm not stopping. You can go run around circles in front of me, but I'm just going to keep working, chugging away until I get to where I want to be. And then, I'm not sure where I am where I want to be, but I want to perpetuate where I am, keep it going.
And I have to say, I like everything you said is valid points. I will say I am, unfortunately one of those youngins that I use AI. But I want to say this real quick, because I think AI, if you use it as tools and not as dependency of, take my brain out of my head and put it in this computer and hopefully it'll save all human problems. That's crazy. And you're right. There are, they will say bad actors. There are ways of not using it and depending on it, which is, a valid point. But I would say, going back to our roots of just being outside the house. I remember back in the day playing basketball until the street lights came on. Yeah, of course. Now it's like they have phones in middle school. It's like, wait, what?
I know. It's unbelievable.
I was lucky to have a flip phone in my freshman year in high school. So, yeah, you have great points, and I agree. We need to get outside the box, because that's an excellent illustration you made. And I think that is happening, unfortunately, with young and old. We get ourselves caught up into this social media game that we got to be an influencer. We got to have followers. We have to find ways to make money and monetize. It's all this stuff, and not all of it's bad, but too much of it is not good either. It's like having fast food. I won't drop names, but it's like it's okay to have it once in a while. Right. But if that's what you eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and a midnight snack,
exactly. That's why my 80-20 rule. 80% of the time, I eat perfectly. I do everything right, but 20% of the time, I'll have a hot dog and stay up late and eat ice cream or whatever it is. That's just the food analogy, but it's the same with. You can scroll sometimes, but you gotta mix it up with the good stuff. And I think that, unfortunately, in the future they'll have zoos where they'll show kids playing outside and talking to each other. That'll be like a zoo. This is how people used to be. How sad would that be? It already is. I mean, you can't even. You go by schoolyard. I mean, the school is still. That's why. I now I got grandkids, and I'm like, these kids better play sports, because that's the one thing where you can't use your phone while you're practicing or playing. I hope. I mean, maybe in the future they're wired into you and you're barcoded. But you got to do something that gets you away from electricity. And even my nickname to my grandkids, they can't talk yet, but they'll learn it. I used to be Uncle Punishment because I'm really mean to kids. I don't like kids, but they love me because I'm straight dope. I straight talk to these kids. My new nickname after Uncle Punishment is, now that I'm Grandpa, is Grandpa No Electricity Grandpa. When I pick them up, we don't go anywhere where there's electricity. We're outside. The only thing is a restaurant. We'll go to restaurants. I got to practice, get them to get some manners and learn how to eat. But the electricity is only to prepare the food. There's no devices at the table. And they love it because it's totally different. I mean, I got a CD player in my car. I play it loud. I got the windows open. There's no devices. I don't have Bluetooth. None of this. These are all great things, but the more throwback you can get for creativity. And then again, if you're a tech person and you want to be a programmer, yes, you got to do all that stuff. But you still, any field you're in, creativity is important. And I think that's been lost. And you can't be creative if you're bombarded by imagery, especially video imagery. And I think they've done studies and shown that. And even when I was growing up, if you watch TV all day, we gave you grief endlessly. One of the kids in the neighborhood became TV heavy because that's all he did. Now everyone has a TV, color TV in their pocket, otherwise known as a smartphone. That's horrible. I just don't buy it. You walk around the streets, people just looking at a bunch of drones and they're just shopping, or scrolling.
People also, this I don't do because I can't stand it. I had to catch myself from not doing it. That's how bad it is. One of the other things that people do is they have to take pictures of their food at a restaurant, just to post on social media.
Exactly.
I mean, I used to be like that, but only like on vacation because this, you don't get to go to this place.
Well, if it's some unique food, if it's a unique food, you're never going to eat.
The whole like down the street restaurants that you do all the time.
Yeah.
Like, why you gotta keep close? And don't get wrong, if you're cooking home cooked meals, that's different. You're like a chef. That's cool. But this whole like I gotta post every little document.
Or concerts or sporting events. Why are you looking through your camera? You're holding it up. You look at a concert before versus now, and these people, what are they going to do with those videos? I saw a meme recently that said, okay, now we're all famous. Great. Now what? Right? It's like everyone thinks they're famous. I think ultimately it's down to everyone wants to see themselves on TV. That's really, and as a person that's been on TV a few times, yes, it's cool, but I can differentiate between Shark Tank versus me filming myself in my bathroom or, whatever. So it's like, and not everyone can be on network TV, but not everyone should want to just see them on TV, and it's mesmerizing. And people, it's human nature, I guess. The tech companies have tapped into it, and they're good at it. Believe me, they know how to get you addicted to social media, the phones in general, and AI now. I mean, it's bombarding. I can't write a sentence on my Gmail without it starting to write for me. I'm like, stop! I don't want to use your words, even if they are better and smoother. I don't care.
Some good points you're making. I have to say this. You're making some very valid points because I have noticed that because it's like you're typing stuff and like, I can't say names because you legally can't say names on the show, but there's places out there that will suggest, hey, you might want to reformat it and use this way. Right. And it's like, am I Shemaiah talking, or is it some smart person trying to replace my talk? Because to your point, if we're not careful, like there's different levels to this. There are people that use as tools like me, but there are people who depend on it like life support, and that's not good. That's dangerous because what happens 5 years from now, we're not going to be talking. It's going to be some influencing tech trying to manipulate what we're saying. I think that's not human, not authentic, not creative. Okay? I rest my case. Those three things are the most important things to me, and they're all being lost. And that is the saddest thing of all. Let alone people going out on dates or having children or having sex or having fun or having parties. There's just, everything is virtual. Why would, if I'm on a space mission going to Mars, yes, it has to be virtual. But we could actually live in the real world. Why are we forcing ourselves to live in these little devices? And then they're small too. The screen's only this big. I don't really get it. Well, my eyes are going bad. That's gotta be a reason, right?
No, I'm fortunate. At 67, I still don't wear glasses at all. So maybe it's because I don't stare at the screens all day, but who knows?
You know what they say? You have like people in corporate, when we're on the computer all the time, they say it helps when you look away because you're so focused on all your tasks throughout the day.
That's right.
You're only seeing that far for that long. Right. So you gotta like every now and then look beyond your monitor.
Right. Yeah, your eyes are just using short range. Yeah, I agree with all of that. And it's just, but whatever, enough. It's still a beautiful world, and people need to get out there and do their thing and work hard, and sometimes, it's frustrating. People get frustrated early, and then they just want the dopamine of scrolling. Get out there and do something and fail if you have to. The other thing I say all the time is, even if you die on your deathbed, I've met a lot of people who have died over my life, and you don't want any regrets on your deathbed. So even if you try, if you got an idea for a company, a business, an invention, piece of art, creativity, go for it. Try it. And it's so easy to post things now, the good part of phones. Try it, because at least you won't regret not trying. So I mean, that's a major point I have with all people. Try it. And, and they're like, I don't know what to do. I go, what do you want to do? What do you like to do? What do you dream of doing? Try all of that, because at the end of the day, end of your life, if you don't try, that's the biggest regret, I think. Not that you failed. I mean, I've failed 100 times. It doesn't faze me anymore. But it's trying. People are afraid to fail, and they're afraid to try. And that's really a bad development. But it's a beautiful development overall with how the world's going in terms of what's out there. It's all out there. In fact, it's less crowded. There are more opportunities for you to get out there because everyone is stuck on their phones. I look at it in reverse sometimes, like, way less competition to go out surfing if everyone's looking at their phone, or way out to go inventing or to explore nature, because most people are into virtual experiences. So, use that as your fuel to drive you.
Once again, listen on Refocused Radio and watching us online. Go to IamRefocusedRadio.com. Catch this episode and all previous episodes. We've been talking to our guest today, Dr. Robert Yonover. Go to his website, SeaRescueStreamer.com. That's SeaRescueStreamer.com. I can't believe time has literally just ran out the window down the street and came back and said, "You still here?" So I want to say to our guests, thank you for this conversation, because it didn't go as I planned. It is actually better because I feel there's a lot of good points being made on just going for your dream. Yep. Use your hands to build things. Use your mind outside of this tech stuff, because, yes, it's helpful. Yes, when emails came out, right, when we had the ability to type emails instead of text messages, that was great. Now we have it to where we can edit things and create things with art. I will just say this, full disclaimer. I am a fan of AI, but in a way that challenges you to still use your creativity. I'm not a big fan of the AI slop, because that is really a big thing. That is a big problem, because it's like we're seeing robots like just posting stuff online now at this point. But as I digress, what will be your last message for our audience before we sign off?
I just think you just got to go for it. I mean, you can dream all you want, but until you take an action, you're never going to know. So you got to play the game, get in the game, for better or worse, get in the game. Whatever game you want to get into it and try, because that's the most important thing, to give it a go.
Well, there you go. Once again, I want to say to our guests, thank you, like always, for your time.
Thank you. My pleasure. It's great being here.